He was also a director for the Tamil Housing Association. When the UK ban was passed, he took decisions which set him on a collision course with the Tiger leadership.
In 2001, when the Terrorism Act was passed, I knew in the Tamil Housing Association there are chaps who were collecting funds. And when I go for police meeting, the police complaint, they say about fundraising activities of the LTTE, they are very concerned about it. So I sent a memorandum to all the staff asking them to abide by the 2001 Act. They shouldn't get involved in the fundraising activities representing the housing association in any way. And I faced considerable problem as a result of that memo.
Nevertheless, Jayadevan wanted to challenge the ban in the courts. He said he came under heavy pressure from the Tigers to drop the matter.
They said, oh, we don't care about the proscription. As far as we are concerned, we know how to effectively manage the Tamil people in the UK. We take control of every Tamil organizations in the UK. And once we have control of those organizations, you see, we don't have to worry about the proscription or anything.
In the end, Jayadevan flew to Sri Lanka to put his case to the LTTE leadership. They ended up demanding control of his temple and the income it generated.
The LTTE officials came to us and they insisted the temple should be transferred to one of their appointees. They took us to a compound. They said we had to be detained for 7 days for investigation. I was for 62 days.
Why did you not just leave?
I couldn't leave because I was surrounded. Because
what would have happened if you would have tried?
If I didn't do it, they would have killed me.
Jayadevan signed the papers to transfer the temple, not believing they would stand up in a British court. They didn't. Deeply disillusioned with the LTTE, he is now chairman of the UK's Tamil Democratic Congress, which is trying to offer an alternative voice to that of the Tigers. In response, a campaign has been launched against him outside the temple. It accuses him of embezzling donations that are meant for charitable purposes.
Jayadevan is spending his money for his own purpose, not for the other purpose, not for charity or anything else.
All the money going to be his family.
Jayadevan claims the protest is simply an LTTE attempt to discredit him.
I was accused of financial fraud. I was accused of womanizing. I have been accused of alcoholic. And also my family and children were targeted. Even today, I received calls, anonymous calls, threatening calls. It is ongoing continuously. They continuously harass me and hound me.
Was that you?
That's me. That is me. They know how to doctor pictures, you see. Very childish. Right? You can see the telephone number of Rajan. He's the one who threw the fried chicken oil into the temple and also threw eggs at the temple. And finally he was warned by the police.
Yet Rajan claims that it is Jayadevan's supporters who are targeting him. What happened?
The Jayadevan's, friends are doing throw the paint. Everyone knows. They break the glass. They break this glass 2 times. They throw the paints and eggs and.
So what is that?
The LTT Rowdy Rajan behind TBC attack. I don't know who. I'm not LTT.
They actually call you the LTTE hitman.
Yeah. That is a
Rowdy Rajan.
Rowdy
that's
Rajan.
how they call you.
Look. If I'm Rowdy Rajan, I have swab and gun and everything.
However, Rajan is due in court soon for threatening behaviour at the Tamil Broadcasting Corporation. The TBC is an independent radio station critical of the Tigers. They've been broken into 3 times in the last 2 years. Did you witness the break-in or did you...
No, he just told me about it next door. He said it was broken into again. I saw that.
So how did they get in, do you know?
Van packed up on the roof of the van, apparently.
Oh, really? So they stood on the van and just went in through the window then?
This is our testing. This is the test. This is Schutzschloss, ne? Die anderen Sachen alles zum Licht. Kommst du alles in den Mülltopf? Ja, alles ist aufgekommen. Und alles passiert. Ja. Diese Leute möchten nicht mehr weiter, dieser funktioniert, das ist die Sendung. Weil von dieser Partei früher, es ist genau wie eine Mafia. Diese Partei, ganze Welt, sammelt Geld. Wir haben von diesem Radio gesagt raus, braucht nichts mehr bezahlen, dieser Geld macht immer viele Maschinenköder kaufen, diese Gruppe macht das alles kaputt in unserer Heimat, bitte Leute nichts mehr bezahlen.
Join us after the break when we look at Sri Lanka's Tamil community under pressure in Britain.
Most people in America here as a security fence. It's not a fence, it's a wall.
Even the sectarian tension, believe it or not, it's a foreign agenda. It's not an Iraqi agenda.
So the paradox about the Iranians is that they're almost inviting a strike.
As long as Hamas does not approve to this election is not going to happen.
Opinion makers giving their opinion. Talk to Al Jazeera.
Qatar is carefully investing $130 billion to build a dynamic and sustainable economy for the benefit of its people and its partners. The Qatar Financial Center, ready for business.
Asia, a region of economic and military powers. Reporting from the Asia Pacific, 101 East on Al Jazeera.
We're Al Jazeera. Can we ask you some questions? We're less than an hour into this new ceasefire. We've been told not to film inside because we'll be arrested again.
Their demands are simple. End the violence, end the infighting.
We can't really understand what's going on, who's shooting at who really.
Welcome back to People and Power. The Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam is Sri Lanka's main rebel group, intent on independence for the country's Tamil minority through bloody civil war. The group is banned in Britain as a terrorist organization, but that doesn't stop its highly controversial and allegedly violent fundraising. Our reporter, Juliana Rufus, continues her investigation into the Tamil Tigers.
The British ban on the LTTE seems to have very little effect on the organization's activities here in the UK. The Human Rights Watch report quotes a British police officer who says, "We know that extortion is going on, but this is not a priority for the British government. When we look at what we need to concentrate our resources on in terms of terrorist groups, we are focusing on Islamic groups." Andy Love is Labour MP for Edmonton in North London. He has received various police reports about Tamils in the borough claiming to have been intimidated by LTTE supporters. There is a ban in place on the LTTE. Do you think that it's sufficiently enforced and policed?
I'm certainly aware of organisations which espouse the political views of the LTTE who will tell you privately that they are sympathetic to them. And I'm even aware of activity. For example, there was a large demonstration and rally in Hyde Park where there was a huge banner of the leader of the LTT erected. And it does seem to me in those circumstances one has to question whether enough is being done in order to ensure that the ban is upheld.
Why do you think nobody did anything about that?
I do think that the police need to take more interest in what is happening. But I do think the police face some genuine difficulties because, of course, organisations become recognised as fronts for the LTTE, they will change. They will change their name, they will change where they're doing their organising, and it's always difficult for the police to keep up with those changes taking place.